balance. Come on, we all have heard that this is like the magical unicorn that does not exist, right? Let's explore that a little bit further in this video. If you're new here, welcome. My name is Julie. I'm an occupational therapist, a mom of 2 little ones, almost at 4, just 2. And I like to make videos all about how to achieve a more balanced, more intentional life as a mom. And I would so appreciate it if you could click the subscribe button, give this video a thumbs up. Don't forget to tap the notification bell so that you can be notified every time I upload a new video. And with all that said, let's jump right in. Balance, right? This is something that I think we're always striving for. And you know what? On one hand, I don't think it exists. In the culture that we live in, where we're expected to do a 40, 50, 60-hour work week, where we're typically commuting to work and wasting time doing it essentially, where this idea that the harder and more you work, the more efficient you are, when studies show that we're probably only about 30 to 40% actually productive in an 8-hour day. Work-life balance, how's that gonna work? Because you're taking away most of the time during a week where you could be with your family, right? The life part. Or be focusing on your hobbies, or learning a new language, or something like that. So on one hand, I don't think it exists. On the other hand, I think it is something that we can achieve to some level if there was a little bit more balance, right? If cultural norm wasn't to put in so many hours, but rather to focus on the quality of work that we're producing, on this abundance mindset, rather than the idea that, you know, if you don't fill out an 8-hour or 10-hour day, you know, you won't achieve anything. The scarcity mindset that we don't trust people to do the work. We just expect them to be doing other things rather than doing their jobs. And yeah, that can happen with more menial jobs. Perhaps there's a way to look at how are we structuring these jobs and do they need to be done to this extent? I do think there needs to be a mega overhaul on how we work in the United States, but that's a video for another day. What I want to talk about today is how do we make active steps to become more balanced in life? So I want to talk about prioritizing and how we do that. One way that I have found that's really helpful is to identify your goals, like your personal goals, what your roles are, so your goals and your roles, what your roles are in your life, and where you need to be working towards each goal. Because life is juggling, right? You can't let one thing completely go and then only focus on another thing, and you know, when you still have responsibilities related to another aspect of your life. So take the typical parent. Okay, you have the mom, she's an employee, she's also a person who needs to like prioritize her health, and then she's also in relationships with people. How does she keep all those balls in the air? Well, typically what happens is that one takes mega priority, or maybe one or two take mega priority, and the other two suffer completely. James Clear in his book Atomic Habits talks about this. I think he has like a 4-burner system, and he talks about work and relationships and personal life and growth and family, and how you cannot go all in on more than one at a time. And here's the thing, I can see where he's coming from. I agree with that. He is the expert on habits for sure, and I love his books. But what if you don't have a choice? What if you have to go mostly in on at least 2 or 3 of those? Because, you know, what if you need to work? There's that. Then you're a mom. You can't just not be a mom if you have children. Then you have a relationship that you need to sustain, or relationships, not just with one person, with multiple people. And then there's you as a person. And if you don't attend to you, everything's just going to crumble and fall apart. So whilst I do understand that if you want to skyrocket your career, or you need to become a doctor or something, and you need to be fully focused and completely immersed, and life has different phases. Apart from those kind of situations, once you've kind of achieved the all-in on one section, then you know you have to kind of keep everything alive. And how do you do that? So my suggestion is that you go through all the roles that you have in your life. So for me, I'm a mom, I'm a working person, I'm a person, and I'm in relationships. Okay, so those are my roles. Then what I suggest, so that it's not so overwhelming, and you can choose to write these down or say them out loud and just think about them, because as a mom, sometimes you just don't have time or energy to write everything down. Even if you can just think about these things, it's better than nothing, it's miles better than nothing. So I have my roles, and now what I suggest you do is you think of a goal, an aspiration for each role. So let's just say, as a mom, I want to be more present with my children. I want to be at home with them more. I need to be there. I want to be more involved. Okay, so that is kind of my goal as a mom. I want to be more involved with my children. I want to be more present as a parent. My work goals are complex, but let's just say that I want to get promoted in my job or apply for another job and be more efficient in how I work and pull off a big project that has been assigned to me or that I have created, okay? And then me personally, my health goals are that, for example, I want to lose 5 pounds of like the leftover baby weight, or I want to get really strong, more toned, right? And then my relationship goals, I want to go really deep with my husband. I want us to spend quality time together. I want to work on our friendship and our relationship. Okay, so we have those like loose buckets that we've thought about. So now what I suggest is that you choose 1 to 2 tasks that will help you achieve those things, so that it's not so overwhelming. Because if you've got 4 key roles that you have to play, 1 to 2 tasks per role, that's 8 tasks already that you have to do on top of whatever you're doing just to survive, right? But this is really to take it to the next level. So the reason we're doing this is because we're prioritizing so that you can achieve those bigger goals. Because for whatever reason, whatever you have now is not enough, right? You want more. So now we have the mom example. I want to be more present with my children, and I want to have the ability to homeschool them. All right, so what is 1 to 2 tasks that will allow me to do that? Because also remember that when we start doing these tasks, over time, it really adds up. It's like compound interest. So I'm going to take the idea that I want to be more present with my children. And this means for me as a task that I'm going to spend 2 hours on a Saturday afternoon just dedicated to them. That 2 hours Saturday afternoon is dedicated, blocked off on my calendar. This is the time for my children, and it's super intentional. Over time, if you think about that, and obviously like I'm spending more time with my kids than just 2 hours on a Saturday afternoon, but this is like very carved out time. So unless we get invited somewhere that feeds into that goal, we're not going to do anything else besides spend time with our children from 2 to 4 on a Saturday afternoon. And over time, if you did that every week, 52 times 2, that's a lot of hours that you have now primarily carved out for your kid and for you as well, right? So that's going to meet the goal of being more present with your children. And for me in work, if the goal is to achieve a big project, to lead to a promotion or advancement or whatever it is, what is one way to make sure that I achieve that goal? And if it's helpful, sometimes it puts pressure on people and makes them totally like unable to do anything. But if it's helpful, put a timeline. So you want to achieve this project. What is realistic? I want to achieve this project in 3 months' time. Or there's sometimes an external deadline that's placed on it, right? So I know I want to achieve this project by November 1st or whatever it is. What is one thing that you can do to achieve that project? Okay, so you're going to take 1 hour every day of your work day, and you're going to dedicate it to this project. In no time, you have got through a large chunk. Maybe you've even had extra time to finish it. I would also recommend trying to finish a project before you start another one, so that you're not juggling an additional sub-juggle amidst the other juggles, right? It makes it so much easier because now you're feeding each role. Then we have the role of me as a person, and I want to become healthier, stronger, build muscle, that kind of stuff. So what is one thing that I can do towards that? Okay, so maybe that's taking 1 class a week online, or when we can go in person to the gym, doing 1 class in person. And over time, that builds up. And I know this is not anything like groundbreaking, but I think we overcomplicate productivity and to-do lists and calendars, and it's just too much. And really what's going to move the needle for you is to take action and move forward. And this is just a really simple way to make sure that the core buckets of your life are being attended to. And any additional time that you have on top of that, you can decide how you want to spend it. Then the last bucket is relationship. So with my husband, let's say I want to make sure that I create a very meaningful, deep relationship with my life partner, with my spouse, right? Well, I can't take this relationship for granted. That a lot of us end up doing. It gets pushed to the side. If it's not ourselves that we are neglecting, it's our primary relationships, right? So what does that mean? Okay, so on Friday night, after we put the kids to bed, we are gonna spend 2 hours together talking, or maybe we wanna watch a movie, whatever we need to do to reconnect and spend time together. And we're gonna protect that time, because again, over time, that's a lot of really present, meaningful time that you have spent. And that's because you've just prioritized it. You haven't just let life happen to you, you have been proactive. And that's what makes the needle forward, and that's what people like to see. That's what attracts people to you in friendships, in work circles, in life. The next thing to really remember is to concentrate on what might be hindering your ability to do these things. So I spoke a bit about like not having your phone with you and that kind of stuff. Yeah, those are basic things. But really go deep with yourself, or maybe you don't even need to, maybe you know what it is, and identify what is stopping you from doing these things, these super simple things. What is stopping you from being present with your children from 2 to 4 on a Saturday afternoon? Are you, spending just time on your phone and you put a movie on for them and maybe you don't take a nap, because I think that's important. If you need to take a nap, take a nap. But maybe you're just spending time on your phone and not really paying attention when you could have really fun, structured time with them. With work, what is happening at work that is stopping you from prioritizing this 1 hour a day to work on the sprint project while you do all the other things? Are you getting distracted by people in the office? Are you just wasting time on your phone again? What are you doing? Are you not getting up early enough, or are you rushing in the morning? What is it that's stopping you from achieving this? And the same with like working out. Are you just not scheduling the workout in? Are you not booking a class? Are you surrounding yourself maybe by people that don't prioritize health and wellness and working out, and that just means it's easier for you to not do that, but it's important to you. So really looking at what is hindering you from achieving these priorities is really, really crucial for your success. Now this goes hand in hand, but things that you are going to prioritize are probably going to be related to your values. And I may make a whole different video on values because I think it's super important, but always remember that values are the core of what's driving your actions. And if something doesn't feel good, you need to look back and see how it is connecting or disconnecting to your values. If you need some ideas of like what a value is and how to find out what your value is, I will leave a great resource down below. Don't be overwhelmed by how many there are. There's something like 240 personal values that we just like in English, we like naming a lot of different things, but you can make them into categories so that you can decide exactly which values are most important to you. So for example, a value could be relationship, adventure, health and wellness, creativity, things like that. So make sure that these goals that you have set and these roles that you have are feeding into those core values, because that is how you're going to feel fulfillment. That is how you're going to feel balance. If you feel like you would like more support, I have a great resource. It's a free mini course that you can sign up for down below. Super easy, and you'll receive 5 days worth of videos, lots of resources, worksheets that you can fill out or not. I think they are helpful just to see, so that you can start designing and creating your dream life, because you deserve it. We deserve to have the life of our dreams. And there are ways that you can be super intentional about creating those. So please let me know what you do to become more balanced in your life. Is it something like yoga? Is it something like journaling? I would love to know. Don't forget to go ahead and subscribe, like this video if you found value in it. With all that said, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.